Hello, Gator Country. Seth Varnadore back with another little film review. I think going into next season, right? We close the book on 2020. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk a lot about the Cotton Bowl. Going into the next season, I think you got two really big questions on a lot of Florida fans' mind. Number one, why is Todd Grantham still here? I think that's a question a lot of people are asking. I think there's some reasons for that, but that seems to be number one for a lot of people. But that's kind of 1A, but 1B is what's going on with the quarterback position. Kyle Trask obviously had an unbelievable last two seasons starting at quarterback, or really a year and a half. He leaves some big shoes to fill, and it seems at this time that those are going to be filled by Emory Jones. So I want to take a look at what Emory's done in the past, what we might be able to kind of expect to see. Like what does he do well? We're not going to get into too much what does he need to improve on. Let's look at what does he do well, what kind of dimension can he add to the offense. So we're actually going to start looking at how teams defended Kyle Trask, and just a little contrasting ways they defended, I think, both Trask and Emory Jones. So here is from the Cotton Bowl. So you see here we got second and 5 here. So second and medium, so this is a down where you could kind of do either or. You could run or pass. Maybe Florida has a tendency. But we see Oklahoma's defense, they're getting straight out of there. They're not respecting this play fake at all. So you got a play fake here. He may have eyes on him, but he's just, as soon as the ball snaps, he's getting his deep half. These guys are getting a lot of depth, right? There's depth underneath these guys. They're just getting deep, playing pass pretty much right from the snap. So we go to later in the game, not much later, but a little bit later in the game, 2nd and 8. So a little bit of a different situation. 2nd and 5 is kind of a second and medium, 2nd and long. Maybe this call is for a 2nd and long defensively. Some teams like to run the ball to get themselves into a 3rd and manageable. But I think a little bit of it is that Emory Jones is back at quarterback. You'll see these safeties are going to get depth, but not right away. Now, some of it could be he's got eyes on him, eyes on the tight end there. But the play fake, you see you get a lot more respect out of it. He's more flat-footed right now and then gets his depth. And then Emory Jones makes a really good throw to Whittemore on the sideline. And you'll see a better view of that later when we kind of talk about how Emory has some pretty good ball placement at points. Another way people defended Trask. So when Florida got empty a lot, you see you got a 4-man box. This is 5, but his eyes are on receivers. He's out of the box, and his eyes are here. These guys are playing too deep. This is how Tennessee played it, but a lot of people played Florida's empty like this. Now, yes, it is 3rd and 7, but this is how a lot of people played Florida's empty. You see, at the snap, they're playing the pass the whole way. Nobody's in the middle of the field. That's why you saw Florida able to run a little bit on Alabama with Kyle Trask. Well, you got something similar in this Oklahoma game. 2nd and long. So you see here Emory's making a check. But you look, I got five offensive linemen. Emory's makes 6. I got the 4 defensive linemen. And then he's kind of half in. They probably have some type of a pass responsibility. So this is really almost like a 4-man box. These guys are box players, but with that width, you see Emory come up. He makes a check here. Let's run that back so we can see. Emory gets something from the sidelines. He makes a check. What do you want to check to? If I'm a coach, what do I want to check to if I got almost functionally a 4-man or 5-man box? I want to check to this quarterback run. Quarterback run, your guard gets up on that other box player. I think you pick up 8 on 2nd and 11, so you put yourself in a 3rd and manageable situation. But you're not going to be able to defend Florida's offense with Emory Jones at quarterback like you do Kyle Trask. So what are those reasons? Well, one is because Emory Jones can run the ball really well. He's not just an athletic guy. He actually, I think, has pretty good vision in the run game too. So let's take a look. He's running looks like just kind of outside zone here this year against Arkansas. and some kind of mop-up duty, but good run, good cut, get vertical. And he's a pretty tough runner, too. You'll see it right here. He doesn't just go down at the first sign of contact. This isn't block perfect, but he's one-on-one with a corner, hits him, and then ends up getting in there for the touchdown. So that's a pretty physical run from your quarterback. This is the last year against national champion LSU. Little bash. You got the back away. He's reading somebody in here. So these backers, these athletic linebackers that are a couple of those guys playing in the NFL now, he's able to run by him for a big run there for a first down. And then when you have a quarterback that can run, this running back can almost become functionally like he's your second back, really. So he can become a blocker, a lead blocker, a kick blocker for power. You can do a lot of different things back there if you have a stout guy like Pierce back there. He's a guy that is pretty stout, dude. I can imagine can deliver a punch in the blocking as well. But you get those guys who are going downhill. Now this is against Towson, but you just kind of see. You get him in the open field, he understands how to read his blocks, and he's a good runner. He can make things happen. Here's a similar look against what was a really stout defense in Auburn in 2000. Some of these are from 2019, so this is kind of through Emory's career here. But again, kind of same play. He's able to get his head down, kind of break through a tackle there, pick up a first down. And then you see here in the Cotton Bowl, right, you get that lead backer. Well, now I can run quarterback power to where everybody can down. He kicks him, and now he's wrapping. So you got a really good play on here. 4th and short, it's tough to stop because if you don't match numbers up here, I can just simply throw a bubble. If you watch Alabama and you watch them throw all those bubbles to Devontae Smith and all those screens to Devontae Smith, it's because people had to respect their run game inside. And so if you didn't match numbers out there, I'm just going to throw it out to him. And he's going to make a play because he's in space. At worst, one-on-one with the safety. That's kind of the bind this can put you in. So now if you do match numbers, well, now I've got advantage in the run game. So thank you. Good block by Pierce. Big run by Emory. Similar look here against Vanderbilt. Guard coming around. They come in and try to kind of spill this, wrong shoulder it, get it outside, and he's athletic enough that he can run by some people in the open field too. So they come up and try to, all right, well, we'll make him bounce it. All right, see ya. Goodbye, touchdown. Here's another quarterback power, and this is a really good cut, I think. This kind of shows you some of his vision. Some guys would try to just stick that in there. Trask, this wasn't Trask's game. A lot of times you'd see him just kind of get downhill and stick it in there. And you see Emory here, sees it, cuts back, finds the seam kind of late, and squeezes through there, gets skinny and squeezes through there for a touchdown. I think he's got pretty good vision in the run game. And then again, he could also, if he doesn't like that, he's got RPO stuff out here. So if you don't match out here, he probably could have taken this if he wanted to. He could have hit that slant if he wanted to, but he's also got this. So you can put a defense in a bind. Here's another look at it. This is a play that I think Florida likes a lot is the quarterback power. You saw them run it with Trask, and this is something that can put you in a bind. Again, 3rd and short. Pretty good cut there just to get the first down. Maybe there's more to be played if he stayed outside, but he does a pretty good job reading his blocks here. And it just gets you that, right? The whole thing is running the quarterback gets the math back in your favor because if the quarterback's just going to hand the ball off, you lose a blocker. So when the quarterback's the runner, you gain that blocker back, and the math is in your the math is equal again in regards to blockers and defenders. So here's a little power read. Again, the competition's not great, but you see here the ability to get vertical and explode through the hole. Then you can also do a little bit of counter with him. which is kind of a thing you saw last year when Oklahoma had Jalen Hurts. They would do some really cool stuff off the counter and just have off the quarterback counter. I wonder if you might see some of those wrinkles from Florida next year. But again, really, this is in the Cotton Bowl. Good physical runner, too. And then this one's kind of a broken play. This guy muddies up the read. He doesn't panic. Gets in the open field and picks up 10 or 12 on what's really kind of a broken play. This should not have gone for this gain, but he's a good enough runner, good vision. So what does that do for you? What does a running quarterback do for you besides getting you advantageous box to throw against? Because guys got to stay in there and got to respect it. It also can get you this threat of play action. So right here, just that step up holds him. He shows block for a second, creeps to the end zone. Easy money for a touchdown. But that play action held him in the middle of the field, and now opened up all this space for a slant. Easy throw for a touchdown. Again, right here. So we talked about quarterback power. So this guy is coming up to take on the guy blocking for the kick out for power, right? He's taking it over and over and over, and he's sick of it. So this guy comes out to him. He's like, finally, I don't got to block him, or I don't got to engage with him. You can slip it out, right? And then when you combine it with, on the goal line, with this guy getting vertical, you can get that guy taken out of the play, and now nobody's there. But you saw Miami run this for a huge play against Louisville last season, where they would run quarterback power, quarterback power, quarterback power, and then they finally slipped him as looked like he's going to kick out again, and then he slips up the field for a big gain in their game. This is basically a functional run pass option. This is just a pre-snap. The quarterback's looking, and we'll see this from the end zone view too. He's checking numbers right here. These guys are playing quarterback counter. He starts to widen, but I'm good. I got the blocker for him. I got a blocker for him. I got a blocker for him. It's just a numbers game for the quarterback. These guys are playing counter. I'll flip it out there. Thank you very much. Now, worse, my back's one-on-one with the safety there. Nobody touches them until he gets 12 yards downfield. Here's the same look at it from the end zone view. First, you can see I've got a lot more players in the box over here. Now, Florida did have a funky formation over there, but that's also part of this. Four to a side. But you notice how these guys are playing run because they have to play quarterback counter because it's definitely, if they don't play that quarterback counter and they fly out and Emory pulls it, well, now you have a blocker for him coming this way. Instead, he whips it out there because nobody matches it. Easy throw for 15. Right? And then when he's in the game, I think people are thinking run more often. That's just because that's been his role, but he's also a good runner, as we've already highlighted. So you see he got flat feet here, eyes downhill, really thinking run. That frees up a one-on-one outside. Good throw. Good catch. Big play against Vanderbilt there. And then something else Emory does, this is something he'll have to get more consistent with, and every quarterback you want to be more consistent with this, is he does a pretty good job, I think, at times of ball placement. Here it looks like a Y cross, so you're going to get Copeland coming on a deep crosser. I think you'll get him kind of clearing this out. You'll get somebody in the flat. So you're really kind of high-low, and if the corner bails out and then you have somebody play the underneath, you're trying to hit it in this window. So right there, corner bails. Corner's turning and running. He's gone. He's coming down for the back. So you're going to have Copeland run into all this space right here. But the safety for Florida State doesn't do a bad job. He kind of gets on him. But that's a really well-thrown ball. You have the safety on his back. Maybe I could have bent him a little bit more here. But I got this guy there. That's a pretty well thrown ball. Gives my guy a chance to go up and make a play, and Copeland goes up and makes a play for him. But this is pretty deep. This is pretty good ball placement. Over people's heads to the receiver. Give him a shot to make a play. Here's the one we saw earlier from the back. But again, you see kind of a slower pedal. I'm not just turning and running right off the snap. And then really good ball placement right there. To the sideline. Whittemore makes a good play on it. But that's pretty good placement as well. This one against Arkansas. Gets a little pressure on him. So he may have had something off this throw here. But he gets a little pressure on him. Arkansas did a really good job on defense schematically. But Florida just kind of ate them up. But this is still with pressure in your face. Right there. That's a pretty good ball. Looking back for it, it's already here. Pretty good. That one gets dropped, but it goes on the stat sheet as an incompletion, but that's not on Emory. That's a pretty good ball. Gave your receiver a shot right there. Here's another one where you see him kind of put it on the back hip. We'll say this is intentional. I have no idea, but let's give him the rep. So you have this guy driving on the inside. Emory puts the ball on the back hip away from the defender. Wells makes a great catch here. I believe he's coming back, so it'll be interesting to see his growth next year. But that ball's away from the defender. Good spot. That's where you want to, right? If I'm missing, miss over here. Away from that defender. He's trying to drive that thing in there. Great throw. And then we'll get to him. He's already does a pretty good job of understanding the offense and using his eyes and understanding where people are going to go, right? So right here, I'm pretty sure he's got eyes, and this is part of the system too. It makes it quarterback friendly. He's got eyes here. When he opens this way, he knows you can see his eyes come back. So right here, Emory's looking at this side. He sees the middle backer shade that way, and he knows, bang. He shades that way. That opens up the hole right here. Put it on him. Again, Wells. I think they've spent some time together in practice, I would imagine. They seem to have a pretty good rapport. But right there, he uses his eyes to open the window. Again here, same thing. He's kind of confirming information. You're on the goal line. You got a safety in the middle of the field. He's off screen here. You can see eyes right here. Eyes. He confirms the safety is kind of moving this way. And then turns and whips this thing back to Henderson. And you see, it's a tight window. But it would have been a lot tighter if he didn't hold him or move him a little bit this way. So this safety went this way and then came back. So if he didn't move him with his eyes first, there's no window for this throw. He kind of opened up this window. And then this is another one where you're thinking, that's pretty money ball placement right there too. Give your receiver a chance to go make a play. He does. Florida scores another touchdown. This is from last year, I believe, or 2019. It's another one. It's quick, it's subtle, but it's just kind of confirming information right here. You can see his eyes are initially looking this way at the safety. Safety stays or moves. He knows I've got Tony in the slot on the other side. Turns, gives him a nice catchable ball here. Maybe holds him up a little bit, but you're really concerned with how is he moving people? Is he manipulating safeties? And which is, bigger level stuff. So here's when he got pushed into service against Auburn. Kyle Trask goes out for, I think it might have been a series or a few plays, right? And he's forced in a 1-point game against the top 10 team. He comes in and performs well. So down here you got one of Florida's kind of favorites you saw this year a ton. It appears to be that corner flat combination they love. And how Florida's, and this is maybe something we'll talk about more in depth during the season or during the off season here. Florida is concept-based in passing. So they have one-man concepts, two-man concepts, three-man concepts, four-man concepts. And they just put them together for a play. So, they just go one-man concept, to one side, three-man concept to the other. Two-man concept, three-man concept. So that's kind of all their passing games concept-based. So you see a lot of the same routes out of different formations. That's why. So right here, again, Emory's got eyes this way. I believe he sees this backer start to push this way. He knows he's going to have this. It looks like they got kind of a levels play on. So you got the under route, and then you got the deeper one in the middle of the field. When the Mike leaves, Mike backer leaves to jump underneath here or go towards the back. He knows he's got this. He comes, makes a play, makes a throw right before pressure gets on him for a first down, a big first down there. So again, using his eyes, understanding this is probably his third read right here. Because if you're working here, you're really high-lowing, and then you see this guy coming, you can start working backside, right? They might use him as they might use that Mike as an indicator of which side to work, but either way, you can see him working it. Then right here, again, similar thing. This is another one of Florida's favored concepts up top. You saw them run it a ton. But they love to run a guy in the curl, a guy almost like a middle read, and then he's the guy in the flat. So it's kind of curl flat with a middle read. They ran it to death against Tennessee. They ran it a ton this year out of different looks, but this is even a different look at it. So right here again, sees him widen. You got the flat coming here to pull him out. You got the curl here, but he knows he's widened out, and you're going to have this middle read. They'll sit over the ball here, sit in this vacant hole, puts it on him, gives him a chance to run after a catch for another first down. So again, good understanding from a young quarterback, and this is almost 2 seasons ago now. So you imagine he's further along in his understanding of the offense, but they do such a good job coaching these guys up. They're ready to play. So here's kind of some things that another one is, right here, third down. This could be, depending on how you want to look at this one, this could be a great sign of maturity, which I kind of think it is. So right here, third down, stick it on him. Need the first down. You're trying to get back in the game. Stick it on him. This throw kind of shows his arm strength too. He sticks it in between two guys for the first down. But then when you look at it from the end zone view, you see they're kind of squatting. He kind of cuts this off here. You could try to squeeze this one in back here. You could try to squeeze that one in. Looks like he's got the go route. Once you see him squat, but he's kind of in between. This would be a tough throw. It's third and 5. You got safety here. I don't think he'd get there, but it's 3rd and 5. You need a first down. You need to just move the ball down the field, right? Puts a nice catchable ball again away from this corner that's driving on it. You see the corner's driving on it. He throws the ball in here. Lets him get upfield, get the first down. Maybe you could have taken a shot there, but it's incomplete and you got to kick a field goal. I think Florida ends up scoring a touchdown on this drive. So you'd have to say good decision. This is another thing he can do when the play breaks down. He's really physically talented too. You see him move a little bit and then throw a rope on a deep out to the sideline. This is not an easy throw. He sets his feet and just rips it out there. That's pretty good. And then here's one that we'll end with a mistake, as much as we want to talk about good stuff. But this is something that's like, okay, he made this mistake, but this is something that will go away with experience. So we'll watch through at full speed one time, then we'll talk about it. So play gets signaled in, 1st and 10, a little bit of a rocker step, and then he throws it into traffic, and you're watching the game, you're like, what is going on here? So Florida's got a little bit of a glance route on here, kind of a glance post. So just, skinny, try to hit it in the hole. Emory's stepping up. He's doing the rocker step play action fake, right? He does not get as much play as he did as he did previously. So these guys, he's expecting this guy's going to come up and fill when he sees that rocker step, right? So he kind of gets stuck on that. And he's really looking here. Where does this guy go? This safety kind of rotates to the middle. So he's thinking, all right, I got this glance post, easy money, right? The safety rotates to the middle of the field. This is going to be my window. I'm just going to rip it in there, right? So as he comes up. He's eyes on the safety. He sees him going. He's like, okay, imagine this guy's not here. So he's thinking this. I got that area to throw it to. Then I don't know here if he sees this guy or not. He might just think I can rip that throw in there. But he's thinking, he's kind of stuck on the pre-snap look of this guy's going to come up and play the play action. He decides to rip it in there anyways. And then this is one that probably should have been picked. And you see him if you're watching the game, that's when you saw him turn to the sideline to give a my bad signal, right? Which it definitely was. But you could see what he was thinking. He made the read of this guy, and then Oklahoma did a good job of dropping somebody there. So good playing by him, or good playing by Oklahoma there. Not a great decision by Emory, but that's one he can learn from. He'll see that. That's a different coverage than he anticipated, right? So they went to kind of a 3 deep, and he's thinking if it's 3 deep and he's gone, I can fit that glance in there. But he just didn't see this guy. So that's something he'll learn from, and that's something you'll get with more reps. But I think when you look at his physical skills and then kind of how he's already kind of developing that quarterback stuff, whether he's using his eyes and moving guys and manipulating people, I think he's got all the tools to be very successful. This staff has shown the ability to coach up quarterbacks pretty well. I don't think he'll be any different. And I think the one thing you can take solace in if you're a Gator fan is that if he's not starting, that means the next guy's probably really good. So if for some reason Emory Jones is not starting next year, that means whoever is starting, unless it's an injury, obviously. But if somebody else besides Emory Jones is starting, that means that guy's a really good player. Because I think Emory Jones has a lot of talent, and he's a guy that can do it and be that next man up for Florida at quarterback.